Survivalist on The Richard Syrett Show.
What are you going to do when the lights go out? Forever. What then? You'll be left to your own devices, sitting there in the dark with your Swiss Army knife. That's why you need to tune into this program every Monday at this time, when we welcome our emergency preparedness expert and the author of The Art of Urban Survival, Stefan Verstappen. Hey, Stefan, how are you, buddy? Oh, we do not have Stefan Verstappen. All right, I'm getting the international symbol for stretch the pizza dough. All right, we're making pizza on the Zoom call here. Oh, now I'm getting 2 thumbs up. All right, thank you, Manny. Manny's on the board today doing a great job. Just roll with it. It's live radio. Stefan Verstappen, are you there, my friend?
Yes, I am.
You see, I thought we lost you, too. I thought the lights had gone out all over the world.
Well, the lights did go out here. Did they go out where you are?
No. You had a power outage?
Yep, for about 2 hours.
That must be just like Christmas, though, for you. I mean, you must just say, oh, this is exciting. You know, this is like no problem.
No, it's not exciting because I'm expecting a power outage. And one day it's going to happen that the power goes out and it will never, ever come back on. And that will be the end of the world as we know it.
That's true. But, I mean, just, you know, these are like little dress rehearsals, and you're so prepared for them. What I'm saying is, I mean, it's just it's another opportunity for you to just hone and practice your survival skills.
Well, listen, I am prepared for it. But to be honest with you, it doesn't matter how much you are prepared. You do not want the end of the world to actually come.
No, that's true. That's true.
You know, so I'm ready for it. Yeah. So it goes out, and then I'm already thinking, okay, get on the emergency radio, see what's going on, and you know, it's daytime, so I don't have to pull out the candles and the lamps just yet. But no, you don't know if it's coming back on again. I'm thinking, I'm going to miss the Richard Syrett show today.
Oh, God forbid. That would be the end of the world, my friend.
That would be the end of the world, of course.
Now, just a quick aside, because I know we want to talk about crime prevention today, but
Sure.
Speaking of the lights going out, do you know how to make your own candles? Would that be a worthwhile skill?
Well, it would be, but it's not. It's really not necessary. I learned how to make candles when I was a student at Gosford Public School, and every month they would take us to Black Creek Pioneer Village.
Oh, yes.
And they would teach us how to work in a forge, how to bake cookies and bake bread, how to shear sheep, how to spin wool, how to weave, and they also taught us how to make candles. But it's really... it's just too easy and too cheap to buy a bunch of candles, because you still have to buy the paraffin wax anyways, and you have to buy the wicks. Probably easier.
And the matches.
And the matches. And by the time you all do that, just go to Walmart and pick up a bulk pack of candles, right?
Right.
But even easier than that is to make a lamp. All you need is like a cup and a wick, and then whatever kind of oil, cooking oil,
right.
You know.
Bacon fat.
Yeah, bacon fat. And
we got plenty of that at our house.
Oh, nice.
All right.
Yeah, and then that will provide you light. But no, I know how to make some. It's fun. It's a great craft.
All right, so we're going to talk about crime prevention. Let's say the lights go out for a couple of weeks, and as you know, when you get on your shortwave radio or your shortwave radio, you quickly determine that, or ham radio. My apologies, your ham radio. The police are so bogged down in other matters, they're not going to have time, to come to your house in the middle of a blackout. Because you call in and say, I think there's someone breaking into my door or my back door or whatever. So
right. Let's
talk crime prevention. How do you handle things on your own?
Well, okay, there's a lot of strategies that we need to go over, and we're not going to have enough time today. But you don't have to wait for a blackout to occur for the crime to go up. Right now, I'm getting reports from all over the United States, from other prepper communities, and the crime is going through the roof there. Everything is up. Murder, robberies, home invasion, carjackings. Not even the police are safe. There was a recent report that a sheriff's department had their their electrical meters stolen. Apparently, they steal the meters and then they install them somewhere else. Because they're smart meters, you get to get electricity on somebody else's dime. Believe it or not, that's what they're doing. So not even the police department is safe, and the power hasn't gone out. We aren't in the collapse yet, but because we're heading into a economic collapse, and as we will head into an economic collapse, resources will start to get scarce, and when they get scarce, people get desperate, and more people will turn to crime. So you don't have to wait for a power outage. The crime is here now. What I'm hearing coming out of the States is a real increase in the theft of catalytic converters. So people are just going into parking lots where you park the car overnight, and they're stealing your catalytic converter. The reason is that there's, I think, 5 grams of platinum that's in the catalytic converter. So they take the converter and they take the platinum out, and then they can sell the platinum on the precious metals market. The other thing I'm hearing is that they are stealing gas. They crawl underneath the car, and they've got a hammer and a punch and a bucket, and they will punch a hole in your gas tank, and they'll drain your gas tank and siphon it out from the bucket.
All right, Stefan, got to jump in here. We'll take a time out, come back and discuss further. What we don't cover today, we'll cover next week. We cover all the bases here with the survivalist Stefan Verstappen, emergency preparedness expert, and the author of The Art of Urban Survival, ChinaStrategies.com, the website. Back with more in a moment.
Back to the conversation on The Richard Syrett Show. News Talk, Saga 960 AM.
And we are back with the survivalist, emergency preparedness expert, Stefan Verstappen, author of The Art of Urban Survival, ChinaStrategies.com, ChinaStrategies.com, and FormingCommunities.com. And we'll be talking about forming communities in the not so distant future, and that's a long series of conversations we'll be having about that. Right now, crime prevention. So you were talking about the theft of catalytic converters. You were talking about the theft of gasoline as inflation soars. Someone just texted me today, Stefan, and said that they, for the first time ever, they'd seen phalanx of security guards standing behind cashiers at the Food Basics. And apparently, right here in the Greater Toronto area, increasingly, I guess, customers getting frustrated with prices and people pushing and shoving, and they're starting to take it out on the cashiers. It's getting ugly real fast.
Yes, it is. And there's 2 dangers that we face right now. One is increased crime, because, again, as resources become scarce, there's a fiercer competition. This is Darwinian socialism. And so only the fit will survive. And so you're going to see a lot of people that are trying to steal and rob and things like that. The second danger is that most of our population is under what we would call mass psychosis. And psychosis means that a person does not have a firm connection to reality. And look around, Richard, you can see a lot of people have no connection to reality. This is the kind of guy that thinks a tiger is a fluffy creature from nature, and he jumps the fence at the zoo to go and pet it, and then he finds himself being torn to pieces. This is what we are facing with liberals, by the way.
Mass psychosis. Yes, they're the same people driving alone in their car with masks on.
Exactly.
But that's another show.
That's a lack of connection to realities. But the problem is, these people are starting to go insane. Well, they are insane. That is the definition of psychosis. You're insane. Mass psychosis means most of the people around you are going to be insane. And they may act out in violence because they might not be doing it out of a criminal intent, but they're doing it because they're losing it. I'm seeing this all the time, Richard. I don't know about you. You know, the road rage incidents,
yes,
the domestic violence.
Like a wounded animal.
Yes, people are wounded there, and it's going to get worse and worse as the economy gets worse and worse. So not only do you have to protect yourself against crime, you also have to protect yourself against the crazy people. Now, I know we don't have much time, so let me give you a point right away on what you can do. The number one preventative technique against both the crime and the crazy people is awareness. You have to be, it's what they call situational awareness in the military. You have to know what's going on around you. You have to know who's behind you. You have to know who else just got on the bus, who just walked into the restaurant door. Anytime you are outside your home, you better open your eyes, open your ears, and for the love of God, get rid of that God darn cell phone. I see these people walking around, staring at the cell phone, completely oblivious to what's going around you. You are advertising that you're a victim. So do not put the cell phone away when you're out in public, whether you're walking down the street or driving in the car or on the bus. You got to keep your head up and your eyes open. So number one, folks, from this point onward, because we don't know, it's happening right now. So let's not think this is going to happen in the future. Right now it's happening. Increase in crime, increase in the number of crazy people. Keep your head up, keep your eyes open. The other thing is your posture and your presence. You have to walk aggressively. You have to throw your shoulders back, your head up, walk with a purpose. And this is a deterrent to potential street violence. Because what you need to do, and we've talked about this in other shows, it's, the Kung Fu, the martial arts principle of Qi, you exude confidence and strength. And when you do that, any potential muggers or pickpockets or whatever, watching you walk down the street, they'll see the way you move and they'll go, no, this guy's too much trouble, or this girl's too much
classic
trouble.
Prey predator, right? The predator's looking for the sick, the weak, the elderly.
Exactly. So don't be sick, weak, or elderly. And even if you are elderly, like myself, I still walk like I own the place, and people always defer to me. When I walk down the aisle or something at the grocery store, everybody backs up into the shelves to let me pass, because I exude that. But it's a good thing. It's a technique that you use. Now, one more thing: when you get in the car, lock the doors when you get in the car. Now, most cars, the doors lock automatically these days, but if they don't, lock the door and roll up the windows, because a lot of the crime that's happening is being robbed right in the middle of the street. Believe it or not, but this happens. And don't think because you are in a nice, safe suburb that this is not going to happen to you. The criminals have moved out from the bad parts of town. They've moved into the suburbs. They moved into the rich areas. Look at all the crime that's happening in Beverly Hills. I mean, they all came out of Compton, and they know where the money is. The money's not in Compton. There's no sense, mugging people in Compton. The money is in Beverly Hills, and they're going there. And they're doing what they call follow home crimes, where they'll watch a person go into a fancy store. Maybe they go into a Gucci handbag store or something like that. They come out, they'll follow you, get into the car, and then they'll follow your car. And then when you pull up to your house, just as you're getting out of the car, they'll drive up behind you. 4 guys come out with guns. They'll pull you out of the car. They'll rob you blind. So you got to be aware when you're driving. Now, you're not necessarily safe in your car. Now, there's another thing that they do. It's called the bump and rob. And this is where they will pull in front of you and stop suddenly. And sometimes you can't put the brakes on the timer, so you'll fender bend them from the rear. But even if you don't hit them, they'll stop suddenly. And again, 4 guys get out of the car and they'll come up to you, come out to the side door. They'll break the side window glass, because the glass that's on the side of the car, on the door panels, is designed to be easily broken. You break it with a you can get one of those knives that has a little punch on the end of it, specifically designed, or you can use a spark plug. Any ceramic surface will break that glass in a heartbeat. It's not hard to break that glass. So they'll break the glass, they'll grab you by the throat, put a pistol against your head, and they'll either take you and the car and everything you own. So here's a tip that I have for people.
Your car alarm.
There they go.
Was that on cue? Did you mean to do that?
No. As if on cue. There's somebody breaking into a car as we speak. Okay, one last little tip, because I know we're almost out of time. When you stop behind another car in traffic, leave 6 feet between your bumper and their bumper. And the reason for that is because of what they call the box. The box is another robbery technique that's becoming more and more prevalent. Again, this is going to increase as things get worse. Now, what a box is, you pull up to a red light, there's a car in front of you. And then suddenly a car comes up behind you, and it comes up really close. 4 guys get out of the car.
Right, you're boxed in. You got nowhere to where to maneuver.
You got nowhere to maneuver. That's why if you leave yourself 6 feet between your bumper and the front car, and then you see these guys, and of course, if you're standing at a red light, I would be looking at the rear view mirror. Okay, I'm not looking at the cell phone. I'm not looking at the scenery because.
Okay. We got to wrap it here, Stefan. But yeah, you got to peel out of there. If you got 6 feet in front of you, at least you can get out from around them.
Exactly.
All right, we'll pick this up next week. We'll continue on with crime prevention. Stefan Verstappen, the author of The Art of Urban Survival, ChinaStrategies.com, FormingCommunities.com. We'll pick it up next week. Thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, Richard. Have a good week.